The first order of creation is thought. Everything that ever was, is, or ever will be was preceded by thought. Sometimes an unintentional thought brings a thing into being, sometimes unintentional. You can create change by brute force, with determination, willpower, and rigid discipline. But if you really want to take an active role in seeing anything change in your life or the world, you can actively take part in the creation process by engaging and incorporating other systems which come from outside of your flesh, which can magnify your efficacy exponentially. The most powerful tools you have to live a better life, your best life, and to make the world a better place, from what you know today as being your reality, and not only bridge the gap, but cause your heart's desires to show up in your life, are your imagination and inspired action. Let's take a look at imagination. The powers that try to control you, the world, and keep us subdued know how powerful your imagination is. So they have built sociological constructs which make you believe that imagination is nothing but a fanciful toy used by children. And by all means, you and everyone you know should abandon such silliness if you are to become a responsible adult and effective member of society. If you are caught using your imagination or daydreaming, your peers who have been programmed, just as you have, will speak up and attempt to correct you. The correction may take the form of a warning or reprimand, an assertion that you get your feet back on the ground and grow up. In essence, get real. If you do not snap out of it, you may be at risk of being diagnosed with any number of various psychological disorders for which there is a treatment regimen that will knock the imagination right out of you. So be careful about using your power of imagination, and be cautious as you continue to practice using it, because your strength and expertise in wielding such a powerful tool will grow as you learn to embrace this source of creation. Regardless of what other people might think or say, I challenge you to dare to invite a bit of imagination to your life right now. This little exercise doesn't require changing your environment or achieving a state of relaxation. It can be done anytime, anywhere. I mean, if you're watching or listening to me right now, you're already multitasking, so just keep on going. Imagine your life. By using your skill of daydreaming, you can function normally and exercise your skills of imagination while having very little impact on your waking and otherwise productive life. Using your power of imagination, think and answer this question. If you could have anything you want, any way you want it, all the love, health, and wealth you can envision, what would that look like? Just for a moment, suspend your disbelief and actively visualize, see in your mind's eye all the things you would really like to see and be around you in your life. In your perfect life, if you could have everything the way you wanted it, what car would you be driving? What kind of house would you live in? Where would you live? If you could live anywhere in the world and money was no object, what would the people who are close to you look like? What would your friends look like? How would they support and respond to you as you were living your perfect life? If you could have your family members be any way you wanted them to be, how would they be? Would you have a job? If you had a job, what kind of job would you love to have more than anything? Would you be financially independent? How would you achieve that? Might you be a business owner, inventor, artist, actor, singer-songwriter, gamer app creator, or the recipient of an inheritance or some other financial windfall? What would it be? Remember, reality plays no part in this exercise. Push your desires out beyond their logical limits, where anything and everything is possible. After all, this is just your imagination. So what would your health status look like? When you look in the mirror in your imaginary perfect world, what do you see? What's your default facial expression as you're living the life of experiencing the desires of your heart every day in every way? What does your happy, healthy body look like? What clothes are you wearing? In this place, what would you do for fun? Would you travel? Have your own swimming pool? Throw parties for your friends? Celebrating everything in your own event center or on your own yacht? What would you do that you would love to do more than anything? What would make your heart sing? Okay, bask in your imaginary life for a few more moments, imagining what your life would look like if you could have it any way you want it. And while you do that, I want to make a confession to you. I just played a trick on you, and you fell for it. Now don't worry, it's a beautiful thing that just happened. While anyone else in their right mind might have cautioned you against it, what you just did is amazing. Using the power of your imagination just now, you created all those things that you ever wanted, and they are coming toward you to be realized in the 3D world for you in all their glory. This is taking place right now. They are coming to you. This is the power the greatest minds of our time, from Aristotle to Tesla, Einstein, and Jobs, who knew how to use this tool to bring us a planetary status and quality of life where we can have access to anyone, anywhere, in a heartbeat. Anything you can think of is either already here or on its way. And everything that is started just like that little exercise you did. You planted those seeds and you germinate them with your thoughts, and they continue to grow, mature, and get closer and closer as you do. But it will take more to bring them to fruition more rapidly. It is well known and often cited that with pure determination, willpower, and hard work, you can achieve your heart's desires. Or you can forego the extraneous blood, sweat, and tears by focusing on personal growth and self-improvement. You can move closer to what you want, or move the obstacles, what stands between you and what you want, out of the way, and realize your heart's desires quicker by changing you, who you are, your vibrational frequency, so to speak, to align yourself with what you want. For if everything is energy, as we are learning in the quantum sciences, when you are an energetic match to what you want, you will have it. Instead of pushing your way through life, you can execute inspired actions and allow your life to flourish. Inspired action is different from making things happen through the force of your flesh. Contrary to pure physical force, like literally pushing someone out of the way, chopping down a tree, burning debris, or demolishing a building, you're manipulating universal source energy by executing small, inspired actions. These tiny, calculated, love-powered actions act like a magical pebble dropped in a still body of water, creating ripples of pure energy which radiate out to change the world around you, and the effects can have great magnitude. Not unlike Moses parting the Red Sea. According to the legend, Moses held out his staff and the sea is safely parted so the Israelites could cross safely. For this event to take place, there are a huge number of factors which need to be in place to and following the moment of Moses raising his staff for this event to manifest. Thomas Edison used inspired action to create a working model of the light bulb. It started with an idea which he saw in his mind's eye, using his power of imagination, then executed the inspired action to create a team to conduct a series of experiments to be continued until the idea of the light bulb was realized. Edison could have locked himself in his basement and conducted 1,000 experiments on his own, using his own flesh and blood resources. But in one fell swoop, he set into motion a series of events that brought his dream to fruition. The inspired action of putting together that team was preceded by a great amount of detail, which made the space and resources available, as well as the minds of the people who would conduct those experiments. Universal source energy reaches out into the past and the future to energetically harmonize with your heart's desires. Using inspired action, you can take tiny baby steps with that magical energetic ripple effect, which supersedes time and space, so every small step you take towards your dream in faith affects the actualization of what you want exponentially. The components of inspired action is a combination of action and inspiration. Inspiration starts in your heart, that feeling that you might like to try something you've never tried before. The thought of it may seem unusual because it's unfamiliar, but you're not afraid of the idea of taking such action. And it is in line with the path which leads towards the dream you'd like to see manifest in your life. This is the thought which precedes and empowers inspired action. Unlike other forms of action, inspired action does not take a great amount of detailed planning, which is associated with the work of the flesh. Not that both are not helpful or will work in harmony with each other, but the benefits of producing massive impact from small inspired action will help immensely to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Inspired action is always just outside of your comfort zone. This is the universe calling you into places where your heart knows the magic happens. So of course, you're going to be somewhat anxious about it, but you have an inner knowingness that it's the right thing to do. And you don't have to know how the results of your inspired action will unfold. It just does. In the future, you can look back and see the miraculous succession of events that resulted in taking your inspired action. You will notice that if you trust your intuition and follow your gut, you will find yourself realizing your heart's desires long before than you ever would have thought possible with just your sheer determined willpower and disciplined follow-through. You will also have a sense of exhilaration in anticipation of and following the execution of your inspired action because you're conducting life in the zone of inspired creation, and you're not alone. Find joy in the fact that you're living a life in the zone with all the greatest minds of this world who have ever lived lives of expansive creation and satisfaction, thanks to your active imagination and inspired action. So the next time that you get the internal hit to do something that you haven't figured out all the details of, and it's aligned with your heart's desire, just do it. Use the resources you have. Now don't do anything crazy like risk your life savings, and make a step, no matter how small, and allow it to ripple out. And then as you keep moving forward, you can look back and see the significance in your decision to follow your heart. I'm David M. Masters, Transfiguration Specialist, lead coach, and trainer at St. Paul's Free University. And you can find out more about me at davidmmasters.com.